much closer.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up what I was putting down there, Tiff. Some surprising notes. Booyah up to 11th. Krink's still on the top, but it is very close between the teams, even inside the top 5. We're getting into game 2 already. You wanted it quick, and we got it to you even quicker than you expected. Hopping on board with Swagg. We're right into the mix, and quickly they're grabbing their loot.
Swagg himself landing condos, so not a bad place to position yourself around. You can find a slew of cash throughout a lot of these buildings and making sure you can get to high ground. And well, Huskerrs, when you talking about someone in chat talking about mouse and keyboard, well, here you go. Huskerrs, a known mouse and keyboard player, finding a lot of success here with the pistols early on, already able to grab one knock onto Shucks and taking these helicopters for a tour ride around the city, trying to connect and maybe find a full team wipe.
Cracking plates from the street on the ground with the pistol. That's Huskerrs things. I respect it. And for those that are wondering about different teams, we already talked about this trio in particular. But the one thing I didn't mention today, I mentioned yesterday, is as a reminder, his comp team for Urzikstan is actually Tommy and Z-Smith, who are also playing in this event that he's competing against, right? So a fun conversation to have, especially because that trio, Tommy, Z-Smith, and Huskerrs, recently just won the other big trios customs that Optic put on. So a fun note to see if maybe Huskerrs can hop into the money with this kind of brand new trio, albeit an old teammate and a long-standing duo with Unrational. But back to the team that just won, up into top 11. A lot of chemistry to be had for this trio, and I counted this as technically one of the 6 teams that are playing with their normal comp trio for Urzikstan. Now, I don't think it was officially announced anywhere, but many have been suspecting that Pins would be joining Booyah and Swagg this year, just given the fact that they play in pubs all the time together. Pins is a slayer at heart. Literally, I think in his bio, it says certified pub stopper, and put on a show there at the end of the last map to creep them up the leaderboard. But the problem is they've got to do it again and then again if they want to make it to the top 5. So still a long road ahead of them, but hey, still a total of 5 maps to be played today.
I like popping into the vehicle and driving around kind of towards a more central zone to look with that UAV to find some teams. But Kaylee, as soon as we turn over to them on the main broadcast, she gets laid out. So I don't know if we just kind of cursed her there at this point, but now Dongy, Scummin both up, able to grab some damage onto that player, but finessing their way around, trying to find angles can be incredibly challenging, especially over here. Kaylee does get fooled. Dongy finds a knock and full onto Callum. Gonna be Sin still up. We need to put a label onto him, but with Scummin doing enough damage and not being able to capitalize on it, I'd imagine the team, the duo that's left of them, have already shielded back up.
Oftentimes what teams will do here is also wait to hopefully have their teammate win their gulag so that they are floating up above and can give some live callouts or live pings to where the teammates are going to be, but they don't even need it. Joff just goes off the top ropes trying to do a 360 no-scope or something. I don't know what was happening, but Scummin gets a free kill, and all of a sudden the tides have been turned back the other way. Even the tally, and Scummin goes on the aggressive, plays patient, waits for an opening, team makes a mistake, and they grab some loot because of it. That was wild. I don't know what Joff expected to happen there, but probably not that.
Huge win there to complete that most wanted contract. Kaylee wins the gulag as well, and a good bit of clean reset and a little bit of a tightrope action out of Scummin, just navigating through the rafters. But it seems like they're just going to be looking for some more information. Meanwhile, tuning back into Braxton, another team wipe for this squad. Give him 2. This should put them with enough points throughout the squad to be able to usurp Skullface. Now, granted, Skullface is probably working through eliminations early on, and as I say that, the chaos is kind of happening. Throwing up that counter UAV will alert teams nearby that there's an engagement going on here, but it will give them just a little bit more coverage to kind of stabilize.
Yeah, I was looking back on the leaderboard, and it's a great call out. You've got Crinks at the top at 126.2, this team at 124.4, and they actually usurped Skullface, who's at 117.3. We saw Skullface's early game looking pretty solid last map, and then we kind of lost them in the mix, and it's because they fell fairly early with not a ton of eliminations. So you called out Team Skullface as a team that had a slow burn yesterday and ended on a high note. I'm wondering if that's going to happen again today.
Well, with this being 12 games total at the $75,000 community showdown, And into the 8th drop, we don't have a whole lot of time to allow that warming up to go, but the team that has the biggest target on their back is on your screen. Adrian, Aydan, and Krinks. Now, Krinks has been interesting. I didn't realize that he was actually one of the original Omit members signed.
Yep.
I think he was the 4th person signed to Omit, who has a large chunk of our competitive Warzone players and does a lot to help them kind of grow and get into the space more and represent a nice organization in the competitive space. So we'll see how it goes for them today. So far, a little bit slower, just outside that next circle, but the most wanted is about to finalize, so they'll get that kind of package that comes down with potentially some UAVs or some cool streaks, and then they can carry on that rotation after.
Yeah, Krinks is a demon. There's not much more to be said than that. He's been in the scene for a really long time, just kind of been on the kind of underside of the Twitter space, has played some tournaments here and there, has some earnings, but really hasn't ever pushed aggressively into the comp scene as something he wants to do nearly full time. And now playing with Aydan definitely has a chance to do so, especially with Adrian as their 3rd. This is going to be a fun trio to watch through the life of this map. But as we talk about another trio, Hisoka, Shifty, Vonbot, this is a wild team to talk about, because Shifty and Hisoka, again, similar to Huskerrs and Irrational, have a ton of experience together, but playing not with their Urzikstan trio. Because of that experience, still doing fantastic throughout the life of this tournament, continuing to find eliminations here and are inside the top 5, just barely jockeying with several teams nearby on the leaderboard. Looking to better that in this one, though, as Hisoka pushes the equation, finds one, no, gets caught out in the open, but a quick trade. Shifty, no problem, finds the double, and that's Symphony that's going down. This is the team nearly a point or less right next to them on the leaderboard that they are jockeying with. This is a massive moment in this competition.
Scammer. One shot, bullet.
At least they're incredibly passionate when it comes to their comms, and so clean and concise, telling everyone who is one shot, where you need to focus their attention to be able to navigate this. And we were kind of talking about the different IGLs and calls that can come through, and that micro fighting, someone that is that main shot caller in the engagements can dictate the way those fights go. And so far, everyone is alive and well. We've got self-reses all around. We haven't had to burn them, and we can start really honing in on this.
A stark contrast. You've got Breadman up in the highest point of the map, just raining fire from distance, trying to connect. If anybody's going to connect, it's going to be Bread, but with 40 some odd bullets, he can just spray and pray and hopefully connect on a couple of these. One errant headshot, and all of a sudden you're picking up an elimination and kind of giving that signal flare to Skullface and Joe that you could go maybe third party this. But this is a very stark contrast to what we were just seeing, and finally Brett has to make the decision. I'm gonna go join my team. I've got plenty of room to work with.
I mean, let's be real. What we were just witnessing was a stark contrast from what we've seen in Game of Thrones. If anyone has seen that, there is one thing that you should learn: you zigzag when you run. And that is exactly what that player was doing. So unfortunately, Breadman could not get the snipe to take them out. Bounty averted, but now they've picked one up of their own. And the ATV rolling up behind. Now, this is like similar. Like if you're by a buy station, people will kind of drive around, maybe needing to do that, finding that information. Well, Sin, you're gone. Gabagool made that happen, which is Skullface. That's very, very typical. But a rotation is needed and a fire sale to boot. So keeping this buy station will be strong. Do it.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. There it is. See you later. Empathy out of here. No problem. Mounted up sniper on the bridge. They don't know you're there. That's why one-shot snipers are incredibly deadly, and one of the reasons there's only one allowed per team. Very valuable to weed out numbers and pick up a couple eliminations along the way. Again, our only criticism of this trio is, will they have enough eliminations at the end of the day, Tiff, right? They were able to do it in the final map of yesterday, but otherwise we're kind of just slow creeping up the leaderboard. If this is another slow burn day, let's just hope that Wick burns a little bit quicker than yesterday so they can creep a little bit higher than 4th or 5th place at the end of the day, because they are slowly working their way out of the top 5 if they don't pick up eliminations.
Tracked, Z Colors, Desmond working really well together thus far, sitting in 14th place after 7 drops. So a lot of room to move up that leaderboard. If they can pull maybe a 10 to 20 point game, they might be able to break into the top 10 after this. Still very much on the outside of the ring, circle at their back. They've got one of the farthest rotations that we've witnessed, and well, Bread's still got that sniper in hand, kind of wreaking havoc over here on the bridge, pushing out of zone, kind of doing a negative rotate to find elimination, sitting on 2, but once more.
This is the problem with this gunfight, getting shot from multiple angles. A good call from Bread to go ahead and PA the truck behind so he could try to help out Skull and Joe, but ultimately isn't able to do so, getting shot from multiple angles. There's the push. Nice cover. Scraps goes down. Question is, where are his teammates? Found him. Oh no, that's a full nother team. See you later. That's Shifty that just went down. That's Skullface on the other side. They've wiped a couple different squads, and Brett knows it's Shifty. We gotta go, and we gotta go now. I think it's gonna be too late though, especially as they get PA'd. Brett's wide out in the open, and they're just going for the water. Really their only option right now, and he's not going to make it. Maybe he can get the self-res off. Those smokes did get nerfed. They don't last as long. Tiff, he might just barely get out of this one.
Yo, but he's got restock on, about to pop another smoke. He's burned his last one. He had to utilize the self-res, and we had a teammate use theirs as well. So now Skullface, the lone standing team member with this, now the restock. So now full up on smokes. But it may have been nerfed. It may not last as long, but it was still just enough. Crossing through, and he's got the shield crack throwing down the damage. Joe is an absolute menace, but Breadman is crazier with this sniper, doing all the damage needed. Should give the teammates the ability to swarm in and capitalize on this, but no knocks just yet.
Unreal. I think they did end up picking up Shifty there just a moment ago. An opportunity to wipe one of the top squads. We're going to take a look at their POV. Here's VonBot's side of things getting picked off from actually a different team. They're able to pick Shifty back up, if I'm seeing this correctly, a little bit forward in time. Shifty's back on his feet and shielded up, but there's another team on top of the hill as they continue to run out in the open. A complete reversal of roles. Breadman's team able to cross water, get to cover, and it's Hisoka, VonBot, and Shifty now out in the open trying to get to some semblance of cover.
Being an eye on them, Soka is still your kill leader in the lobby at 40 eliminations with Almond, Braxton, and Lennon hot on the tails. Jumping back on board, Symphony and Lennon, a duo right now trying to get FIFA back into the mix. But for now, a rather slower pace than usual. By this time, last time, Symphony had, I believe, at least 6 eliminations, 4 from the beginning, now sitting on 0, trying to make something happen. But playing this heavy edge allows you to get aggressive. But what's going to be dangerous is you saw just how much chaos our teams earlier trying to get into zone were having with us, all of the open spaces, burning through all of the utility. I'd imagine that if we don't hit that rotation soon, it could be really detrimental towards the longevity of this game.
Yeah, it's the two kind of sides of the coin when it comes to Warzone Customs. Oh, sorry, buddy. I was going to break something down for you, but you get shot right in the face like you do with other people often. They should be able to get a free pickup here. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. But the problem is if Lennon goes for this and gets picked up in the process, that's going to be a full team wipe and likely has already been to the gulag with the way he's running away. Would have been a tough res, maybe get Symphony up, but likely that team has pushed the fight because that's the signal flare we were talking about, and there's the wipe. The two sides of the coin, Tiff, is exactly what you said. You can edge hunt or you can rotate early. There's a risk associated with edge hunting, and unfortunately, the risk bit you back this time around. It's gotten you into the top 5 thus far. There's got to be one chalk game, and that's definitely it for them. A 3-point game, and they did just barely creep into the 1.1 times multiplier. So you do the math. I think it's like a 3.3 game or something like that. A tough one for the boys. We'll see if they're able to rally back in the 9th game next.
Curious to see how they're going to approach this going forward. There is a drone here, and it seems like they're going to drop straight into it, and we are heading over to farms. I guess the Call of Duty gods have heard me when I've been saying how many zones go to that northwestern side, and, well, the Call of Duty gods are definitely here in Soka, wanting more eliminations, always able to clutch up in these intense moments. Guy simply is just built different when it comes to Call of Duty. If you're not familiar with Soka, aka Hisoka, has been just making waves since the Caldera days, and I've just been so excited to see this grow. You think back to the rising stars of Warzone, Soka used to play a lot alongside Skullface, and, well, Rostermania happens and has been making waves now alongside Shifty and bringing back VonBot into the mix for kind of a new synergy here at the Community Showdown. positioned quite well. Looking for another one.
Yeah, a quick note on that too. Just wiped the winner of last map. All momentum cut out from underneath them. That was Swagg's team fully eliminated. They did take out Vonbot in the process, and then Vonbot killed Pins in the gulag off screen to add insult to injury. So a fantastic rep, honestly, from this trio to take down one of the potential top teams of this map as well with the momentum they had. It's going to be a tough one to battle back from. We'll see if maybe Swagg Booyah get back onto the map. I'm not sure. We're going to continue to swap perspectives though, as Hisoka is restabilized. And over here, the only team that has won more than once, they won twice yesterday. Going into this map, would love to make that 3, especially with Scummin already on 7. They've changed up their strategies, Tiff. Remember yesterday, they were hanging out slow, playing circles, rotating early. This time, edge hunting and finding a ton of eliminations. They have heard the beckoning call of the warmongers, and they have answered.
I thought that was the geese skin. There's like a geese skin from camo grinding, and I know a lot of people that only, I think it's called gaggle. Sorry, I understand what you're saying, but I have to scope this. Is Scumming using the gaggle skin right now? But we'll have to tune back into that later because Soka is on a warpath alongside Shifty. We knew exactly what we needed to do, and they are trying to make it happen. Durable gas mask for later though too.
Yeah, that was another team inside the top 10. That was Serve Squad with Noobs and Almond. A tough one to lose there, especially with the momentum being cut out from underneath them back in map 3 from yesterday. They really haven't had anything going. Likely are going to fall just outside the top 10. But Hisoka, Shifty keeping the pace up with Vonbot. UAVs are so crucial in these instances. It is going to not only note where the teams are, but also where will the third party come from? What angle do we need to hold from our flanking position to make sure we don't get shot in the back? And you can see a couple teams just barely off screen here that could be within position to third party, but most of these teams seemingly are restabilizing. They might just fly at one of these squads.
And then I'm gonna stay on the portable, right? I'm gonna stay on the portable.
You know what, honestly, before we get into that final endgame, I would love to jump into a listen-in with Soka, Shifty, and Vonbot to hear how they're going to approach this.
Yeah, if you have 2 in your low left, 3 in your low right, okay?
I came back to the building, right?
There are 24 enemies active. Kill them all.
They're not really.
Smoke, do this smoke. Careful up here,
Gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
We get one more UE. You get one more UE.
Yeah. With my money?
Listen, we're gonna hold these and we're gonna go that way. We're gonna go left. You
guys need my money.
You need to come up here. But don't pop the UE now. Don't pop the UE. Oh shit. Okay, you're good. You're good. Make sure you lay down.
Yeah, I will.
We got hella holes. We're gonna work left. We're gonna work this left side right here.
They're moving on that side.
Enemies located.
I'm coming up. I'm dropping you guys money.
Got one.
You gotta buy it. I'm gonna roll early for you guys. You can get to come to me. You guys get those skills and you come to me after. Oh, let me know when to pop.
Ayan. Hey.
Popped it. I needed it for this round. You guys can always come back to me. You have a zip on your booty. Oh no. Jeez, stealth on me, bro. Stealth on me. Skull in them.
Oh, bro.
Patience is a virtue, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it's a mixed bag of results, Tiff. That was a tough one to watch. They did well to pick up several eliminations. They've got a great game going, but Vonbot is in a very difficult position to try to burden the responsibility to keep this team alive. 6 eliminations for him. His duo has a sizable amount, but he's out of his gas mask and is likely going to fall here in the gas and is just not going to give away his life to anyone else. A very tough spot to be in. Still a fantastic game. If you look to the top right-hand corner, we're just kind of all of a sudden down to the final 5 teams. So they grabbed the second highest multiplier. Still a great game. Just a tough way to go out in that fight after such a tragic and aggressive fight towards the end. Sizable lobby, sizable map for them. They're going to maintain a position inside the top 5. But let's check back in with the team that could potentially drop their 3rd win of the tournament. We've got Scummin, Donkey, Kaylee. Kaylee playing support with the sniper and no eliminations to herself, but we know Scummin's at least on 7 here, Tiff. And it looks like Donkey's picking up another one, and that's actually Skullface getting picked up, who is still alive, which means Skullface's squad is inside the top 3 as well in this one.
Well, Team Kaylee, you know they've been skirting the line at about 10th place, and they're looking to kind of shoot up the leaderboard, checking in with Breadman's POV. They're going to look to hit a res onto that, and trades go back and forth. They've already picked up a knock onto Scummin. Now, granted, Team Kaylee found 2 victories yesterday, so no stranger to getting that 1.5x multiplier, but finally starting to focus on those eliminations. And now that we've made it deep into farms, things can be really chaotic, but Breadman still wreaking havoc with the sniper. They've got lines of sight on 2 enemies just ahead. But guess who gets the circle pull? Team Breadman. Oh man, they're gonna be able to capitalize on this so nicely. Another one in the AO, looking like Stock Hunter. Get him, and he does. That's Scummin. He's not back. This is a no-fly zone.
Huge play for Breadman, not only from mitigating RNG, playing the trenches, but also getting the zone pull. Perfect execution. Dongi is able to take out Breadman, though, answering back. So it's going to be a 2v2. Who's the final couple players? 2v2 showing that we're popping back and forth between, but who's in the car? Who's driving up on Breadman right now? Somebody's getting flanked. There's people all over the place. Now Dongi's in trouble. Skullface still up, but little to no plates, and he doesn't need them. Dongi's eliminated. Another one out in the open. No gas mask to write home about either. All of a sudden, it's Joe and it's Skullface, both in trouble, in a tight spot, pinched between 2 teams. They've got to pick and choose their targets and not get picked off by Kaylee. Points, placement points don't matter here. It is all about the win. And if you can find an elimination, Kaylee catches one out in the open. It's Crinks. Aydan is still alive. The team at the top of the leaderboard could go all the way. Kaylee gets fully eliminated, Tiff. It's down to 2 of the top teams in the top 5. And as Kaylee goes down, that is a win for Team Crinks, I believe. No, maybe it's Breadman. Breadman, Skullface. Joewo somehow stayed alive. What a ridiculous finish. I had no clue who was last alive, and apparently it was Joewo.
So here's the deal. Let's let them celebrate for a second, because I want to hear their recap.
That was not me for going down. You guys just cooked.
No. You're
25.5 right there. Let's go.
Very calm, Skull. I love that about you. Love that about you, bro.
Yep. Dude, I was actually like praying that he knocked the other